Trinidad and Tobago, one of the most heavily industrialized countries in the Caribbean region, has been making forward strides in its mission to diversify the economy and strengthen its competitiveness as it moves away from its over-reliance on oil and gas. As a result, the nation's government has investigated new ways in which several of its business and trade processes can be made more investor-friendly to help stimulate growth within the economy. Thus, TTBizLink was born, the single electronic window platform launched in 2010 by the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Investment and Communications, with the first e-service going live in January of 2012, is designed to help facilitate easier business and trade transactions, allowing users to operate through a single portal to access over 25 business and trade-related services online from anywhere in the world and at any time. On the 23rd of May 2014, the MTIIC officially launched Phase II of the new e-services offered by TTBizLink at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, where the audience bore witness to the full capabilities of the IT platform and the future possibilities of TTBizLink.
The ranking of Trinidad and Tobago underscored several weaknesses both in trade and business facilitation, and therefore the ministry was prompted to develop a solution which not only dealt with the inadequacies and the inefficiencies in the trade environment, but also to balance the reforms, the need for reforms in the business facilitation environment. Because when you analyze the indices, we were quite low in several of the areas of ease of the World Bank's ease of doing business. The solution that we developed in collaboration with our vendor was one that balanced what was an online electronic platform, a very neutral, safe electronic platform called TTBizLink, where we integrated all of the stakeholders in the private sector, the importers and exporters, companies, the different stakeholder groups within the commercial sector, and we created one online platform where all of the services which these stakeholder groups would need to utilize from the government would be on that platform, and of course the data sharing would take place among all of the relevant governmental agencies in the back end. As of May 2014, we have managed to integrate 8 government ministries and 18 government agencies on our single window.
The successful development and implementation of the TTBizLink platform can be attributed to the joint efforts of the MTIIC, the Ministry of Science and Technology, and the Singaporean partner Crimson Logic, who were all instrumental in the execution of the plans for the single electronic window, the first of its kind in the region.
This is such an important partnership we have with the government of Trinidad and Tobago in your journey towards becoming more efficient, more effective. But the difference between rhetoric and really achieving where you want to go is execution. I think in Trinidad and Tobago, I've seen that done in such an amazing way. I mean, over the last 4 years, since we started and embarked on this program, we saw the presentation earlier about talking about the history of the single window. In 4 years, in just a short time, you have leapfrogged and you've seized the opportunity. You've shown execution by leadership. And the project was started by Stephen. It was his leadership when he was in the Ministry of Trade and Industry at that time. And following through by just doing the right things. Because sometimes doing popular decisions may not be the right things. And I've seen the way you've executed and the way you've persisted and the way you've driven through. And I think the results of this is the TTBizLink.
A key speaker for the night, the Honourable Minister Stephen Cadiz, Minister of Transport, offered his own support and congratulations to TTBizLink and spoke of ushering in a new technological period for Trinidad and Tobago's business operations.
At the end of the day, time, as we all know, is money. And every time we have to spend yet another day yet another hour, yet another clerk, yet another filing, yet another, you forgot this form, etc., etc. All of that has to be passé. All of that is something of the past. Trinidad and Tobago can never, ever go back to that. Because at the end of the day, it's about forms. If you really want to think of it, it's about forms. It's about filling out forms constantly, filling out the same information every single day, doing this thing, this tedious job. Okay? And in the day of, in this day and age, in the 21st century, that is gone. And when I hear that we are going to be able to reduce from 40 filings for a vessel to enter the port and to leave, from 40 filings down to 7 filings, that just tells me that Trinidad and Tobago has reached.
Stakeholders of TTBizLink expressed their thoughts on some of the big changes and advancements that the platform brings for their specific industry.
The e-module which we are embarking on here is a module that will immediately reduce all those excessive times that the system, the present system, allows or encourages. When a vessel comes into this country, there are certain processes that need to take place by a number of agencies, and these are, really time-consuming. It is manual and time-consuming, and I mean, we're in the age of technology, we're in the 21st century, and all these types of wasted time is not conducive for costs, and shipping business is about costs. Time is money, and once you reduce that cost, all right, then you become more effective, more efficient, and more, profitable. We look forward to the vessel arrival and clearance through the e-Maritime system through TTBizLink.
I must say that it's very user-friendly. It's effective, efficient. We have gotten good feedback from our clientele in terms of the efficiency with which we have been able to issue permits and so on. And in addition to that, it comes with additional features in terms of the security aspect of the permit itself. It's very difficult for persons to be able to break into the system or to try to forge the permit in any way. With the introduction of this system, we have been able to issue the permits online, right? As I said, in a much faster time. We have reduced our time in terms of issuing of permits from about 2 weeks to 3 to 5 working days.
Prior to the system, there was no electronic or digital system, right? So it was all manual, right? The e-vendor registration system basically allows or facilitates businesses, which includes suppliers, contractors, consultants, to easily register online with the Central Tenders Board. What it really represents is really, I believe, a step in terms of progression towards a more efficient procurement standard within Trinidad and Tobago. You see, once these businesses can now register with the Central Tenders Board, there are many other systems that we can leverage on this in the future, such as the e-procurement system or e-tender system. So it does represent, by and large, a great step in terms of efficiency towards the whole tender process.
Wrapping up the event's proceedings was Senator the Honourable Vasant Bharath, Minister of Trade, Industry, Investment and Communications. His was one which focused not only on the importance of having easier business and trade operations, but also the importance of keeping up with the rest of the world to garner greater and more sustainable investment.
In order for us to attract investors, whether they are local investors or foreign investors, we must create an attractive environment to allow those investors to thrive. First of all, to be encouraged to invest in the first place, and then of course to thrive and to keep their investments in Trinidad and Tobago. All of us will know that following on from 2008 and the fact that many countries have now opened up their borders to trade and are far more liberal with regard to their policies relating to trading from foreigners, so to speak, that the investment dollar has become far more elusive. And so therefore, because of the opportunities opened up all across the world, and because of technology, anybody, anywhere can invest, even just with a little handheld telephone in their hands, which makes it so much more crucial that here in Trinidad and Tobago, we've got to create that environment that allows the investor to, first of all, be attracted to Trinidad, and secondly, once that attraction takes place and once the contacts are made, that the investor stays in Trinidad and continues to invest.
The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Investment and Communications has worked tirelessly to ensure the ease of doing business and trade in Trinidad and Tobago has never been more efficient for its stakeholders. With the launch of Phase II of TTBizLink's e-services, the hope is that business operations in the country will continue to expand as it attracts investors both locally, regionally and internationally in its pursuit of diversifying the economy.